shout out to Coach Hale and our women's soccer team for the big win yesterday. It's a huge win to beat the #1 ranked team in the country. I know that there's a lot of excitement, and Coach does a great job. So big shout out to them. Capped off a good weekend. It's great to have our fans out Saturday. I thought they were loud. I thought we had a great environment, especially as the game went on and as close as it got in the fourth quarter. To see our fans really get into the game was exciting to see and be a part of helping us finish this thing out the right way. But just seeing the excitement on our fans' faces, our staff, our players, was very, very gratifying Saturday night. But very proud of how hard our guys played and competed. They responded the way I knew they would. I saw it in the locker room after the Ole Miss game, and each day last week. We had one of our best weeks, if not the best week of practice that we had since I've been here last week. And it was all credit to our staff and to the players for responding the right way. I thought in the fourth quarter, the scores tied 34-34. I thought there was a decision that had to be made. I thought it was a big moment for this team, for where we've been since we've been here over 19 months. I thought that was a defining moment for the direction of this team and where we were heading. And to see the leadership step up is an understatement. Everybody pulled together. They met the challenge. The way that we won the game in the fourth quarter and how we finished strong in that fourth quarter is something that we'll continue to build on and upon the rest of this season and moving forward. But especially with how we lost this same game a year ago. So we're very pleased with that. Again, I want to talk a little bit more about our leadership and in that fourth quarter moment, really what kind of defined the line in the sand at that point. But players of the game offensively were Nick Starkle and Ty Clary. Ty Clary played the best game I've seen him play since he's been here. He continues to improve. This is not something that just happened over the last year in fall camp. This is a young man that has made a commitment and has dedicated himself through the course of winter conditioning and into spring ball. And he continues to improve and be a leader in that offensive line room. It's great to see that. It's the best we've executed offensively. Without question, we were balanced. And I think that opened up a lot in our run game. But it all started with being efficient and being effective on first down. We averaged 7.6 yards on 33 first down attempts. And when you can do that, you can do a lot of really good things. You can really get into a groove, you can get into a rhythm with this offense. We were also very productive on third down. We were 50% on third down, 6 of 12. So we stayed out of third down. But when we did get in it, we were efficient there. Very solid performance offensively, but there's a lot to improve on, and you'll see this unit continue to improve each week. Defensively, our player of the game was Scuda. His leadership in the fourth quarter, he and Sosa really rallying those guys. Scuda pulling everybody together and said, "Not now. It's not happening again." Was as good as I've ever been around and has seen. He was definitely a force, both on the field and off the field. So that was great to see. It just tells you where this program is moving forward, and to have Scuda in that leadership role at that point. We were very disappointed in giving up 2 plays for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, but I was extremely proud of how our guys responded in the second half, holding them to 26 yards rushing. After giving up 10.3 yards rushing in the first half. And so they responded to the challenge. Like I said, the fourth quarter is a snapshot of what we want this defense to look like the entire game. When we had to make a stand, they were extremely productive in that fourth quarter. It started with third down. We continue to play good third down defense. We were 2 of 7 in the first half and 2 of 7 in the second half. So you're 4 of 14. You created 2 turnovers. Should have had a third turnover had it not been for a penalty. And then the last turnover was probably the biggest. But everybody sees the big hit that Hayden Henry made and the scoop and score with Day-Day. But what they don't see is the effort that one of our leaders, Sosa, turns the play back inside. Incredible job. He sniffed out the screen. He stayed in the guard's hip pocket. He turned the guy back inside so that Hayden could make the big hit and the ball comes out. So you start seeing your leaders making those plays like that. It really says a lot about our team. I think, again, that was a defining moment for our team in that fourth quarter. But our leadership, Sosa, Scooter, T.J. Smith, Cam Curl continues to play consistent and play very well. Special teams, another really solid performance. Very proud of this group. Connor Limpert and Grant Morgan were our players of the game on special teams. Grant Morgan was a force all night long on all of our units. The big kick with Connor Limpert, the 54-yard field goal, was a huge momentum swing for us. And his kickoffs, I think he just built on the momentum, just kept adding to him, and he did a great job of his kickoffs as well. But Sam Lloyd punted the ball really well. I think he had 4.3 hang time, whatever that was something in that area. But he gives us a chance to get down the field and cover the punts, and so that was great to see. It was great to also hear. Just here recently, in the last 20 minutes, Connor Limpert was named the SEC Special Teams Player of the Week. Very well deserving and great for him and our program. But, moving forward, it was one game. That's what it was. It was one game. It was a big game for us, but they're all big games. But we got San Jose State coming in. They're off of an open week. They've had an opportunity to prepare an extra week for us, and we'll see we'll see their best. I do know that. We'll see their best. I know Coach Brennan, and very, very well respected, a great ball coach, and he'll have those guys ready to go. They returned 4 offensive starters. Their quarterback, Josh Love, is 60% completion rate. 3 of the 5 offensive linemen returned. And then defensively, they returned 6 starters. They're very aggressive defensively. They're very multiple. They bring a lot of pressure. They create a lot of TFLs, and so we've got to do a good job of recognizing the fronts. It's led by 2 of their linebackers, which are very, very active, that have been very impressed to watch these guys on film. But as I've said many times, and I say it every time that we're getting ready to play a game, I'm far, far more concerned about how we play than who we play. And we've got to continue to get better. These guys were back in here last night and did a really good job. And so we've got a lot of young guys that have got some great experience, and we'll continue to bring those guys along. But we've got to continue to improve this football team. So with that, I'll open up.
Coach, a lot of rotation with the offensive line. Was that something that you went into the game planning? I know Wagner came off briefly and went to the injury tent, but was it that just part of the game plan to keep him fresh in the fourth?
Well, it was. We knew we were going to get Austin Capps back, and so that was going to, while he might not have been 100% last week, he was good enough to play. He played really well too, and so it allowed us to move and take Myron and be able to spell some of the tackles and move Ricky in at right guard. And it's another great performance by Ricky. I mean, this is 2 weeks in a row. So it did. It created some depth for us, and that was by design, that we had to get some guys some breathing time in there to be ready to go in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, Chad, asking about Ricky, you got him now starting right guard. What's he doing to get these starts as a true freshman when you got Austin back? I know we had a couple false starts. Is that just kind of freshman stuff? But what the good stuff you said, what's the good stuff he's doing?
Well, Ricky plays with a great balance. He's very athletic, moves really well, adjusts and be able to redirect. He holds up against these defensive linemen and does a good job pass protecting. And he's physical and athletic. He's got a mean streak to him, and that's really why he's playing as well as he is because he's just, the moment's not too big for him, and it's great to see. This young man's got a great career ahead of him.
Yeah, a couple things. On Clary, specifically, what is it about him that's advanced, and what did he do in this game to kind of earn your praise there? And then, secondly, Bumper Poole's listed as a starter. Could you update him and anybody else who's on the injury list?
Ty, we'll start back with Ty. I thought that last winter, as we visited with our players and Coach Fry visited, it was time. It was just I think it's a combination of a lot of things, Tom. I really do. I think that maturing. He's got a lot of snaps underneath his belt. I think he realized he's got to mature more. He's got to grow his knowledge of the game, and I think that's helped him. I think the way that he's trained, as far as in the weight room and just the seriousness, and again, all that comes back to just being a more mature player, and his leadership. I mean, I saw it in the summer in the weight room with him getting on guys and encouraging guys. You know, and then all of a sudden you started seeing guys listening to him. And I think that, you know, the way you get guys to listen to you is you got to go perform on the field. And I think he's doing that. And so I think there's a lot of things that added up to where he is today, and he's playing very well for us. And Bumper Pool, back to Bumper. Bumper's day-to-day right now. It was a clavicle sprain. So we anticipate him being back. We'll wait and see and continue to see how it goes.
Looked like he was in a couple plays after maybe something happened. Just kind of.
Yeah, I think, you know, when it first happened, he landed on it, and then I think the adrenaline was still running. And then once we created a turnover, I think he got real excited and, you know, pumped his fist. And when he did, he kind of felt that, okay, wow, all right, maybe the adrenaline's wore off a little bit. But and so that was it.
Offensively, was that about as fast a tempo as you've run since you've been here, especially at first half?
Yeah, I thought we were clicking. I thought we were in sync. I thought we had a rhythm to us, and it was. And, you know, we want to play fast, and we're going to continue to play fast. But you know, it's all you know. You don't want to play fast and go 3 and out either. That's not very good for your defense. And so when you get into rhythm and you're able to be efficient on first down, it allows you to play a lot faster and be in more control and more in sync in an offensive scheme.
Also, if Bumper's questionable, how do you feel Hayden Henry and McClure did?
I thought they did really well. I thought they both played extremely well. I thought Grant Morgan played well too. So you know, we'll definitely have those guys ready to go.
Monteric Brown also left the game late. What's his status and what was his injury as well?
He had a muscle strain, but was back out there yesterday. So I don't anticipate that being a problem. So.
Kind of zeroing in on Hayden Henry. He had a lot of tackles, forced a fumble. I think he had a sack. Just what do you really like about what he did specifically?
Well, he plays with such just a relentless pursuit to the ball. I mean, he's all over the field. He knows one speed and it's wide open, and he has no fear of contact. I mean, this is a young man that he's a force. He is. He loves the Hogs. He loves this game of football, and man, he just wants to go play ball, and that's what you love about a linebacker like him.
And then San Jose's got a guy 31, Ethan Agayo. Hope I'm not butchering his name. I know he's got a ton of tackles. Maybe if you've got a chance to see him on film, what's he doing to make all those plays?
Yeah, 31, Ethan Agayo. He is very similar to Hayden. He's all over the field, very aggressive. Has a knack for the ball. I mean, usually wherever the ball is, he's close by, or if not, he's on hot pursuit to get there. So, a very aggressive player, great tackler in space, and so he's definitely caught our eyes as has the other outside backer, Jesse Osana.
Coach, you mentioned Connor's success in this game, but kind of think back on his whole career. What's made him so successful and able to be so consistent over the last couple of years?
Well, I think he's got a short-term memory. I really do. As a kicker, you can't have a long-term memory, especially if something goes bad. So, his short-term, he goes on to the next kick, the next play, and I never hesitated at all sending him out there to kick that field goal. We got great confidence in him. He's been in this situation before, so I think that has a lot to do with it. I think his confidence in himself is continuing to grow. And you're able to see that. I was able to see that on the kickoffs more than anything yesterday or Saturday.
In your post game that you guys released, you said that momentum is wearing Razorback red right now. Maybe you could elaborate that. You got another home game, and just maybe the general vibe you got going around the program right now.
Well, I think again, it says a lot about our culture of our program. Our guys were just it had to take some mental and physical toughness. They had to come together. We had to go overcome some adversity in that fourth quarter, and we had to go do it. You know, we've talked about it, we've trained for it, we've prepared for it. We have to just, at some point, you got to go do it. And to see that no one flinched, that we were aggressive offensively. Nick had been there before. You saw the ball coming out of his hands. He knew what he wanted to do, and to see us move down the field. And we keep saying all the time, it just takes one. It just takes one, and the next thing you know, you get another and another, and that's what happened. Man, we hit a big ball over there to Trey Knox, a couple of them on that drive, and we go down and score. A lot of energy, a lot of momentum on our side. We get a stop, we get the ball back. C.J. Grady makes a big play up the sidelines. Again, a lot of momentum. What happens next, defense comes out there, and everything just feeds off each other. So, you know, just building off how we won the game. Yes, winning the game is extremely important, but how we won it is far more important for us moving forward.
I had a question about the 4th and 1. You called the timeout. Were you wanting to see that the play got spotted upstairs? Do they spot everything, or do you have to throw your flag on that? Second part of that, Nick, some fans were booing, and Nick was doing his hands down like, hey, quiet down, people. Your thoughts about all that?
I didn't see Nick doing that. I did call the timeout, and I really called the timeout because as the offense was coming over and them looking at me going, let's go for it, and to see the look on their eyes. So I said, okay. So I wanted to get them over there. We got the punt unit out, tried to give them a chance to, if there was going to be a challenge on the spot, they would have done that during the timeout, or they would have buzzed down and called it to our attention. But once we had done that, once I saw the offense come over and say, we want to go for it, Coach, I said, all right, well, score's tied, fellas. This is what we want. Let's go do it. And so that was it. And we were going to get the fourth down call. I mean, we were going to get it off that. But
Chad, you mentioned that there, Coach Brent. Do you just know of him, or do you actually know him?
No, I've met
personally?
him a couple times before. We've been at some clinics together and some functions together.
Yeah, I think he took over a tough situation like you did. I think he's 4-23. What do you see from him this year? And you know, you guys just had a big win. Do you worry about overlooking a team that's coming off some tough seasons?
Well, no, I don't. I'm more focused on the Arkansas Razorbacks and how we prepare regardless who we play. That doesn't change. The message that we're going to give to our football team doesn't change. We've got to continue to get better. And we got a lot of ball left this season to play. Brent is again, he's a very, very well-respected coach. He'll have those guys ready to go. And, I know he's in the process of building that culture out there with that program, and he's again, very well respected.
On Myron Cunningham, all the movement that he's had to do through practices and then even in the game, playing multiple positions in the game, has that been tough on him? And then you got him listed right now, I think, behind Dalton Wagner at right tackle.
Yeah, I think it has. I shouldn't say too much. I mean, he's played well. But we feel like that our best lineup will be able to move him and be able to give relief to either one of those tackles, and to let him focus solely on that. Now, obviously, if we have an injury, he'll move back inside on some things. But with Austin Capps being healthy, Ricky playing as well as he's playing right now, that's the move to make right there.
Chad, you touched on this Saturday night, but the run game. What's your concern level with the amount of running yards you gave up? And can Jamario Bell come back this week?
Yeah, we anticipate Jamario being back. He was at practice yesterday. Zach Williams will be out for a couple of weeks with a knee. We'll get him back hopefully after open week. So Jamario will come back in there in that position. We and provide some depth there for us as well, some size. But I thought that, again, Coach Bowen and those guys had a great scheme. They were going to come in. They were going to try to get to the edge. They were going to attack our young defensive ends and try to get the ball bounced out on the edge. And they did that. They did a good job of that. Their backs were really good. We knew that they had some experience in the offensive line. They played very physical. And we had to match their physicality. And so I thought they had a good scheme coming in.
Yeah, a couple of things. On Ricky's weight, I know sometimes those weights are from the summer. Is he really like 266? Is that legit? And if so, that's kind of on the small side for a SEC guard.
I think he's somewhere around probably 275 on the high end. He is, it's a guy that's got to continue to gain weight, but and good weight. So yeah.
So what's he do to be effective at that weight?
Well, I think he moves really well. He's very athletic and has great balance, plays with great balance, and has been able to control his body and redirect himself has really helped him out a bunch against, especially some of these big defensive linemen.
I saw
He's
that
very
video.
smart.
I'm sorry, I saw that video of the post game. Was that something you've practiced, or was that spontaneous, or what was the deal with
Are you
that?
talking about the dance?
Yeah, yeah.
No, you know what? When you win, you get to practice dancing. So hopefully my dance moves will continue to improve. So. Oh, I thought you were saying I was a bad dancer, Bob. No, you know what? It's fun to go in there and see those guys excited, see our staff excited, and they need to see me excited too. And I think that the guys got a lot of fun out of that, and that's great because we want to continue to have a lot of fun in Club Dub.
I had a question about the deep ball. It looks like you're pretty comfortable, or Nick is comfortable throwing it with cornerback in close coverage like you did on the first touchdown to Knox. I'm just wondering how that helps you guys, that he has that confidence, and throwing to Burks in the same kind of deal too.
Well, he's got great confidence in his arm, and he should. He's very accurate. He knows what he wants. He sees the coverages very well. There was a couple others that I wish he would have kind of put more on a back shoulder to Trey, but that'll come. That'll continue to come with time. But he sees it, he likes it, and he has the freedom to get the ball where he needs to get it to.
Yeah. This may have happened several times in the game, but it looked like you guys spotted something, or Nick spotted something on the O'Grady out and up against the linebacker. Is that pretty common, or did he specifically see that and want that?
Well, we felt like that they were going to bring pressure and boundary pressure, and when they did, we were able to, Nick recognized it, was able to get our protection to the right, slid to the right way, and get a one-on-one matchup with CJ on a linebacker, and that's what we wanted.
Jordan Jones closer? Is he?
We anticipate Jordan trying to work out a little bit this week. We'll see. I think he'll be day-to-day. I really anticipate him being back next week, but there's a chance he could be back this week.
One more for Coach. All right, Bob.
I don't want to be
dance
disappointed,
moves.
like we don't care. Hey, Eric Gregor gets hurt in camp, and then you lose Dorian Gerald, and then you lose Bell, and now you've lost weight. Does that just feel kind of like a snake bit spot over there at the end?
Well, it seems like it right now, but it just kind of comes and goes. You just never know what position you get a few injuries in, and we got to keep bringing these guys along. I mean, that's glad we're getting Jamario back. Eric will continue to come on. Colin Clay played some snaps the other night, and so Soley continues to come on and play well. So it's allowing us to create some depth for a lot of ball left this season that we're going to need these guys. All right, thank you.